mostly have said.
I have two lesser items that I want to bring up. I brought a prepared written statement for the record, but I don't see a recording here today. So I will just give it at the council meeting. It has to do with the Historical Society being asked to assist with this project. We gave a response. Apparently they didn't like the response, and so I want it on the record that we are a nonprofit group of volunteers, and people make donations. We don't charge any money for what we do, and I'm not even on the board anymore. But my other lesser question is of the the building that you showed, Trent. You said 16 heights. I think Baywatch is 20, 22, so we would be less than that. What does that translate into in terms of numbers of rooms approximately? When John came to us a year ago, they projected 500 rooms, 250 in one, 300 in another. This looks like it's only one tower on the lot that they own, but with those setbacks and that height limit, what are we talking about? Approximately condo numbers, rooms and bodies of people.
Well, I can't tell you rooms because rooms varies based on what kind of units they provide. If they provide 3-bedroom units, then that's a much bigger square footage than 1 bedroom. So I can't give you that. I can't give you the square footages we're talking about.
And while you're looking for that, one of the things I want to say is we're not limiting at 16. What we said is the allowable is 200 max.
Right.
We have put in there a density bonus, what I use the word extract, because we're a town that doesn't have a lot of resources in terms of getting some of the amenities that we in fact would like to see. Affordable housing, open space, public-private parking, that are reasonable things to get density. As I explained before, if you want to go beyond that, you go through a variance process or negotiations on the economic development process to get that. But what I do want to say, a master plan does not in fact guarantee. If we went through and guaranteed for everybody, we would have a problem. What we're trying to do is build a plan for anybody who comes in this town who has a desire to develop. Whether it's a single family, whether it's a small business, whether it is a big developer. And I say that because I know we have developers who are already here. We can't necessarily play directly to those audiences. We have to have a plan that is balanced for anybody who comes in, because tomorrow those developers may decide not to be here, and we can't customize a plan exactly to them, because there are going to be instances where they have tools that this doesn't match what they want. And that's all a part of the negotiation and the economic development process. And I don't want to take that away from the plan in terms of that. We need to have a plan that's balanced across the plan, that it would attract many different people to come in to develop. And we have done a lot and spent a lot of time on the ocean front from the perspective that people are here and very concerned about not taking away rights. But in terms of customizing down to the door size and the number of units, I don't think that that's our responsibility.
Excuse me.
Did he get the?
I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, the young lady over here, she was saying that in the proposal, she don't see where there's gonna be anything that's gonna jeopardize the value of the property.
Right.
But what I'm seeing, my concern is, if I'm not mistaken, a lot of the land that I own is used for setback. And all I see on it is a bunch of trees, and I'm gonna sell my property to put a bunch of trees for dogs to pee on. That's not gonna work.
No, what I was going to say to you, the use of your zoning of your property actually has been enhanced. The use of it after the zoning and how it's a part of the project is different. I don't know whether you're selling or you want to become a developer, I'm not sure. But basically, a lot of what should occur on W1 and W2 needs combinations of different properties to be able to build a footprint.
I think she is one that could sit with him in 10 minutes and help her understand.
Please.
And Trent, while you're looking that number up, there's another tiny item. You mentioned the way those buildings will go, commercial on the level. The one thing about Baywatch is it has pools and lazy Susans on the ground floor that these little children in Atlantic Beach told me about. That's free access. You didn't say anything about that. Is it all going to be up for the private condo owners?
Well, what we imagine to be at the ground level is the public boardwalk kind of space, and that can be improved with any amenities that the town or the developer or the partnership sees fit. what I was trying to allude to is that I know that there's a desire on the developer's part to provide private amenities.
Right.
And I'm suggesting that perhaps those could be elevated. We get the separation between public and private vertically, because we don't have a lot of horizontality to work with. We've got really small properties, so we need to deal with it vertically. That's the only, but I'm not saying that those things could not occur.
Trent, if I may ask, I'm probably, everybody in here is, I'm sure, worried about value of the property and zoning, and when I first talked to Ms. Connor about the plan, and actually first seen some of the diagrams that you had printed up, my biggest concern is the police department. I really didn't have any idea or input as to where the police department was going to be placed in the plan in the beginning. By the way, I'm the acting chief right now for the town of Atlanta Beach, for those of you who don't know me. My concerns are everything, it looks great. Everything looks great. Hope everybody makes out well. However, I'm not making anything. My concern is the safety of the police officers and the public. Everything's going to be done on the east side of town, and you're placing the police department on the west side of town. In the summertime, in the busy months, and if we're going to make it even busier, crossing that traffic in an emergency situation is going to be a public disaster. Not only is, I believe it's going to open up liability situations if we're responding and we should hit somebody, or somebody should hit us running blue lights going across 17. The other thing is, I don't think that the police department should be hidden from the public. I think that if you look at some of the smaller towns and some of the newer towns and cities that are developing, they actually place their police department where it's visible to the public, so the public can see that the police are right there. Hey, this is a pretty good place to go. If they don't see police visibility is one of our strongest tools. I just think that it's one of our concerns that we need.
Answer your question.
Yes.
It's something that may be a surprise to you, but we've had considerable discussion about that exact topic. And I think we all came to the conclusion that there's two possible places for the police program, or it could be split into two. Our thoughts were that perhaps a small amount of the retail area down in the entertainment could be used as a substation, so that you do have a police presence there, and that you can station an officer there to have eyes on that condition, and that perhaps your main base of operation would be over here. It could be the other way around as well. I think it's not an issue that the master plan is dictating, but I think that it could either be here, or it could be over there, or it could be both. So I think that that's an issue that we understand, and that the master plan can discuss and frame up, but it's going to be part of the implementation and the
Part of the challenge